some original steel templates from the 60s.
Oh, that's nuts.
So you can see the date on them. 65.
Wow.
So you find these things when they're cleaning up around here and you go, don't throw that away! You know, it's a piece of history and I don't want to get rid of it.
Can you tell me about this George Harrison?
Yeah, so this was one of the artist relation cats hit me up, and he's like, "You want to do the George Harrison tribute?" And I was like, so the family flew us out to Friar Park, and I was able to go to the castle and take the thing apart, measure everything, and make a replica of the guitar. And then they were so pleased that they said, "Let's do 100 pieces," you know. So
wow.
I made 100. It took me an entire year. I made 100 Rosewood Teles. Just finished them the tail end of last year.
And the ones you made, were they similar to the weight of the original one?
Yeah. I mean, they were constructed the same. At one point we had the guitar in here before I worked for Fender. It was in the custom shop, and it was X-rayed, so we knew that it was chambered and how it was chambered. So we made programs based on that information. So we knew how to make the guitar. And then when I took it apart, we obviously had tons of photographs, and my job was to make it look the part. So I had to get all the Indian rosewood. I was trying to find pieces that would match, and I had to kind of replicate that. So it was, most of my day was I'd come in and sort wood, and then I was sanding wood, and I was purple boogers for a year sanding rosewood. Custom shop, so we still hand shape every neck. And on the production line, we have a CNC machine that's actually doing the rough back shape on all the necks, so they're very consistent. It's a lot quicker, but for the custom shop, some guys just have a knack for shaping necks a certain way, and some guys have a favorite neck shape. I have my own, favorite neck shape, so I tend to get a lot of orders for that specific neck shape. So. Then you get really good at it, We do employ a lot of CNC machinery just to make the neck and the body fit super tight, and that makes very consistent with center lines. After it comes off the machine, we're still doing all the hand sanding, all the contours are done by hand. Do the final fit and finish with the neck. The best tone you're going to get is how well that neck fits in that pocket. But then again, there's also an argument of, I've also seen vintage guitars that are well renowned, and you take them apart and you go, wow, that's not a very good guitar. It's not a very good fit. In fact, it's not really fit at all. So, and then we hear those guitars and we think, wow, that's a really cool guitar. I want one of those.
How long have you been here at Fender now?
Working on my 14th year. All of that has been, with the exception of the first 3 months that I worked here, has been in the custom shop apprenticing, and then I finally became a builder in 2010.
It's really impressive, and it's inspirational for a current or future Roberto-Venn student to know. I don't take it for granted, but I've been doing it so long now that it's just kind of who I am. You get a free shirt here and there, and the next thing you know, my whole wardrobe says Fender, so I'm just a walking advertisement for the company. And I live and breathe it every day. So. And you've got a waiting list on your guitars.
Yeah.
Even being the newer guy to the master build area, right?
Yeah, and it's strange because for me being here, I still have a lot of work to do to establish myself. But I guess maybe a graduate or somebody currently enrolled in school would look at me and go, wow, that guy really is somewhere, So I guess it's perspective. I love it every day, and I knew when before I went to school that I wanted to do this for a living. That's why I went to the school. I'm not really surprised that I'm here, but I have spent a great deal of time and effort.
I can tell you don't take it for granted because you still geek out on like the old machines.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, look at those machines, they're from the 60s,
Yeah.
So what is this crazy thing?
So this is the cardboard Strat.
Oh yeah! Wow, you can see right through it.
And the neck too. At stock, it's kind of a trip. So they were doing these videos with Signal Snowboards on making skateboards and snowboards out of cardboard, and he calls me up and says, "Hey, you want to do guitar?" And I was like, "Absolutely, I do." So I did. This went to the 2016 NAMM show. Not for sale. It's more of just a conversation piece of, you know, what's making the tone in an electric guitar.
Right.
There's so much myth and voodoo about body woods and neck woods, and you know, round lamb versus flat lamb, and Indian rosewood versus Brazilian rosewood, and
fret size,
and radius, and what, you know, what's making the tone? What's making the tone? What's the tone? How do I get the tone? So this kind of helps eliminate all that stuff, and you can hear what the pickups are doing. It makes for kind of a sterile sounding guitar.
Right.
So you do understand the importance of good tone woods. We always talk about it in the shop as pie. How much of that pie is making the tone? What's the biggest slice of that pie? Pickups are a big part of that pie. It's not the whole pie. It's just a big part of it. And then the tone woods are, you know, whatever portion of that pie. And everyone has their own version of what that pie looks like in slices. I think I have a pretty decent ear to a lot of it, and I can, if I have a customer come to me and say, "Hey, I want this sound," and I know the ingredients to that pie to make that sound. At least get in the ballpark. It's going to taste like the pie that they've ordered. You know, oh, that's cherry pie. Woohoo! So, and that's a big part of my job is when a customer says, "Hey, I want this. How do I get there?" And I'm steering the boat. You know, I got to help them get to that end result. And the important thing is to understand that one guitar can't do everything, and that's why so many guitar players usually have many guitars, because you just can't have one. That's why we make so many per day, and that's why we keep selling guitars and making guitars, because one can't do it all. And once you realize that and understand that, I get a lot of customers that say, "Well, I'm thinking about changing the pickups in my guitar." I say, "Well, if it's doing something for you, just leave it alone and get something else. Just get something completely different."
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to be a master build or a custom shop. It could be a Mexico Tele, or
which are made really well these days.
Or maybe one of the early made in Japan Strats or Teles. You know, those are great too.
Yeah.
Guitar players and their thirst for tone, it keeps me in a job, and I'm okay with that.